Do not adjust your radio dial. You are tuned in to the Mark Order Podcast. Join the Mark Order.
It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. Mark Order Podcast coming to you live after we took last week off because Ryan and I were at Dynamite with our friend Greg, with our friend That Guy, who was like the most fun person to sit next to. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but we've got a lot to discuss. I did not feel like tonight was necessarily the strongest Dynamite in the world, but it also wasn't the worst thing in the world. We'll get into all of that and more, but the big news, Mercedes Moné returning for the wild card spot, a nice shot in the arm to a division that is lacking Willow Nightingale, Toni Storm, and her up until this point. So that is a huge, huge win for the AEW Women's Division. Still not good enough to main event, but Fightful Select had kind of hinted that this might be the case. A fun note in the Fightful Select report that Will Ospreay was the one standing in for Mercedes with his fiancée, Miss Alex Windsor. But plenty to talk about tonight. We've got one eye on the Knicks game. This was not the strongest episode, but it's a better night than Jalen Brunson had, unfortunately.
No, he's doing well now, Kate. He's up to
is he
15
back
points.
in? I didn't see anything. I just saw him go back to the locker room.
He came back out.
All right. Okay,
Yeah,
well
but
that's good.
He's playing 27 minutes. They're going to run him ragged. My gosh.
Ooh, my goodness.
What was that, Joe?
So it's kind of like a Walt Frazier thing, you know? You go to the locker room, out.
I guess. I mean, they're tying it, so I got to respect it, but...
They made it a game. They made it a competitive game, so there you go. Pieces saying I meant the Spurs game. I meant the Knicks game, all right? I am in the Northeast here. I'm a huge Knicks fan for the past, at least week and a half. These colors get very loyal, depending... basketball and hockey are the same to me in that every year during the playoffs, I'm like, I love this. I'm going to watch during the regular season, and then I never do. Because playoff hockey is amazing. Playoff basketball is super, super fun, but then I don't. I think because I don't have an allegiance to any team, and because I'm such a baseball girl, I'm like, 162 games is enough to keep up on. But, Joe, you're over there sporting the Knicks gear. I want to know how you even became a Knicks fan, because you mostly have Midwest alliances, sir.
Not necessarily. I'm a very big fan of East Coast basketball.
Okay.
New York is my NBA team. The Georgetown Hoyas are my basketball, my college team.
Okay.
West team, Seton Hall, that whole guy in the Big East. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just kind of liked them during the 90s because I appreciate and like old Jordan, but I like the Knicks when they're, had their rival for a while.
Sure. Okay. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. I like that it was for the love of the game that got you into it, too. Love that for you. Ryan, we also have him here. So let's get into this. No, I'm just kidding. I got to see Ryan last week. We went to Dynamite with our friend Greg. It was a 3-hour taping. I thought it was some of the most fun I've had at a live wrestling show because it was probably the most I was a fan at a really long time. And Greg definitely stoked the flames of that. But we also, there's no way for me to say this without sounding like a fucking piece of arrogant shit.
Yeah,
but I have to because, authentically, I didn't run into anybody else in media. I didn't run into anybody else that recognized me from Fightful. We were kind of just, tucked away. And I love seeing my wrestling media friends. I love running into people that watch Fightful. It was really, really fun just to be, tucked away in our little hard cam nook and not really interrupted by anything or anybody. I took like some content for the Fightful YouTube, but I wasn't there to like work at all. And sitting next to Greg, who was like just so, calling him a casual fan is generous. Like he knows like the nostalgia guys. He knows Copeland, and he knows Jericho, and he knows Orange Cassidy and a few other guys. But he was just like there to have a good time, and he got super into it. And it was like, I had so much fun sitting next to that dude because he was just there for the right reasons. It was like his night out, so he isn't running to a softball game for his kids for once on this night. But it was such a blast, and I felt like for a 3-hour taping, once I realized it was 3 hours, I was like, oh no, and then I have to drive home from Philly afterwards, like this is going to be long, but I had like such a good time. The crowd was super hot the whole time. Ryan, you've gone to many a sporting event with Greg. I have only gone to, I think, Seton Hall basketball from when we were in college, and this wrestling show with Greg. I don't know if there's anything else. I used to heckle him a lot during intramural softball. I used to just yell like Phillies players' names at him. But how did you feel about our 3-hour Dynamite experience with Greg?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's a complete opposite type of sports fan than I am. I'm quiet. I don't say anything, and he's very vocal.
Yeah.
No,
not obnoxiously vocal, like very reasonably vocal, but it was very fun to like, I don't know, Kevin Knight kicked off the episode and he was like, why are we booing this guy? This guy's awesome. And then Kevin Knight said something about Philly sports team and he was like, oh no, boo, this guy sucks. Like he was just so there for it.
Kevin Knight won him back though.
Yes, Kevin Knight did.
He did.
He's really cool.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Boy, will we.
No, I mean, the show was great, and he did have a lot of fun, and it gave you your talking point for the week about vignettes.
Yeah. I'll make that point right here, right now. Again, Ryan, I've mentioned this like 4 times. Sitting next to Greg, the episode opened, if you remember, with Kenny Omega, Ospreay, and Moxley walking into the scene. And then at the 2-hour mark, flipping over to Collision, there was the Death Riders versus Rascals trios match. And I gave Greg maybe 20 seconds of context, and he was like, oh yeah, from the vignette that kicked off the show. And with all of the bullshit discourse about vignettes, I didn't register it at the time, but when I was driving home, I was like, how funny is that through this half-assed arena audio, Greg, who, as Ryan pointed out, is not very smart, immediately just picked up on this story and then 2 hours later remembered the story. Like, there's, with all of the, internet bullshit about, well, who is this guy? Greg was like, you know what I did? I watched the show and I figured it out with my brain. It made me realize how overblown that is. No, I do feel like AEW in particular could do a better job of the pay-per-view recap thing. Brian Alvarez makes that criticism quite a bit, and I very much agree that, if you win people over with these amazing pay-per-views and then you just don't recap it on the next Dynamite or whatever, or, you have all this buzz coming out of a pay-per-view and people are like, well, what was that all about? They're like, we're not even acknowledging it. That's not great. But, it's a pretty nuanced story with the Death Riders and Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, and he was really up to speed in one 90-second vignette and a match. I don't know. It made me laugh. It made me laugh out loud, but.
WWE back in the 90s used to do this thing after pay-per-view because they didn't want to show any live clips because unlike now where everything's out in an instant, whether they would just do snapshot stills with the audio, but they would tell you what happened. And it was all of a minute at the beginning of Raw. Last night at King of the Ring, blah, blah, blah happened to blah, blah, blah happened to blah, blah, blah. But you knew everything that happened that if you missed that pay-per-view, you were 100% caught up.
Simple. And you have social media now, so there's really no excuse. Yeah. I think that's a very fair criticism, especially because AEW wins on pay-per-views. That's their home. There's always so much moment. Every time they have a pay-per-view, I feel like coming out of it, it's just nobody's on a string of pay-per-view runs like AEW. So I'm with you there.
was happy
Any other?
Knicks just took the lead.
All right, go Knicks! My favorite basketball team for the past at least 10 days. Any other thoughts sitting next to Greg?
No, I mean he's like you said, he's not that smart.
Sure.
So the fact that he
He
got
listens
anything,
sometimes, so I'm
No.
just trying to, yeah.
it also, I'm gonna say it goes to the argument of, how do I want to say this? The idea that hasn't been floated as much recently, but has historically been one of the most floated ideas of how do you get the casual fan? And like you
Sure.
said, calling him casual would even be very limited. And all he wanted was cool wrestling. That's all he wanted to see. Like you didn't have to do anything special.
It's so funny too, because even just the stuff like with Leo Rush, he was like, "Oh, he's like that's wrestling Gollum." I get it. Like everybody acts like these ambitious characters are so whatever, and he's just like, you just watched it. He knew Orange Cassidy. He liked Orange Cassidy. It was very fun to see him in the Superstation 4-pack or whatever that was. But yeah, it was very fun to sit next to him. It was very fun to be able to track it. Normally our game plan when we go to Philly for wrestling is we do like dinner with him and his family beforehand if we're able to see him, which is wonderful and lovely.
I love the we. I'm there anyway, so I see.
You
him.
are, yeah. You see him all the time too. Like, but like it's that's a big ask for an 8 p.m. show when you have 3 daughters, be able to like drag him out to go see a sport that he's not really that interested in. So it was very, very fun. It was very, very fun.
Yeah, but it came up with 2 relevant points. You don't need that many vignettes, and you don't need to be different than what you are to get casual fans. Now, that's not to say other casual fans will want to just sit and watch cool wrestling shit. Some might want the other thing, but it's more to just say trying to predict what people want is just not worth it.
Yeah, and it's certainly not, like, I don't think you have to cater to something different than what you are because there's fans of both, right? So it's like, just grow the thing that you do very well and you'll go from there. Certainly the numbers picked up this year. Like, I feel like the ratings are consistently 700,000 and above for the most part, and that doesn't include like streaming services. And I think it's probably fair to guess that would be at least 200,000 people to 300,000 people. That seems very, very reasonable, like a very measured number. The live houses are picking up again. This one that we went to wasn't sold out, but they ran live course instead of the 2,300, which was I think a sign that they're headed in the right direction. And that was also right after a pay-per-view audience that sold out in New York. So some good stuff and just like a fun experience. I felt like for a 3-hour taping, it was pretty well paced too. Like that was my thing. I was like, we're driving back after. I'm going to be dragging ass. But the show I felt like actually kind of moved pretty well. Moved it pretty well. Joe, how are you holding up over there watching your Knickerbockers?
I'm doing fine. I have a question. I know you said it was nice not having to, be around a lot of the wrestling media or people who recognize you from Fight Club. What was it like trying to keep the groupies away from Ryan?
I mean, first of all, he just dresses so ostentatiously that it's like he's constantly calling attention to it. So it was a little bit tricky. But we did our best. Like, we stayed close to security to try and keep the fanfare away, which was really nice. I feel like he definitely got stopped for autographs on the way in and on the way out. Getting to the car, there was some drama, as you might expect. Like, there was just, like, people just yelling for him, people trying to take his backwards hat. Like, there was a lot that was going on. But we made it through. We did okay. But it was weird. People are, like, trying to take his shoes off because they're trying to get feet pictures. It's a lot. But it's also a Philly crowd, so I've come to expect that people are going to be trash,
They love me. What can I say? I'm their man. But everyone loves me. I'm the people's champion.
Yes,
You're
Yozad
something.
But I do have a question that has nothing to do with any of this. 1LT, talk more on the fact that you made your indie wrestling debut.
Yes, I just found this out just yesterday.
I did not find this out. I need more information.
He's learning like at least spots so that he could do some stuff on the indies, which I think is very, very cool.
Ryan, you need a vignette to teach you what's going on.
It's true. It's true. Ryan's the...
Or a match tape. I'd be fine just watching the wrestling match.
There you go. Yeah, I want to learn more too. We do thank everybody that's hanging out, chatting along with us, especially Jesse Ozog, as Joe pointed out. 1LT Photo, Lord Kev in the chat, Matt Rykeel, Jamie from Down Under at Perio Magazine over there, Scott George, Greg Cherry, Tim McFowle, Taylor Cannon, Pieces, all y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us as we do this unintentional Knicks Spurs watch along alongside our Dynamite review here, because we got a game on our hands, so we will be checking in on that. But let's dig into this episode of Dynamite. Overall, I did not like this episode. Like on the whole, I thought Mercedes' return not being in the main event was silly, and then you learn why she wasn't in the main event, because we're gonna have this faction war. I
have a theory on Mercedes not in the main event.
They didn't want to tip the hand.
Yes.
I thought that too.
If you put the women's Owen match that has a special contender with Alex Windsor, you're tipping your hand that it has to be Mercedes, because I like Alex Windsor, but she's not main event right now. So like, who's going across from her that would be at that level? So I think that's the only reason. I maybe shouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, if they make this main event, you might as well just already establish that Mercedes is coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was going to be a big deal no matter who it was, right? Like, because if you're going to replace Willow, you can't just throw, like, Julia Hart in there, no offense to her. Like, that's not going to work. So I understand that, too. I also think the way that the main event unfolded with this much chaos, that had to be what you went home on. But I also hated that shit being anywhere near the Owen. I don't like tournament matches that get overwrought with ref bumps and overbooking. That's not for me at all. And I hate the move of putting Kevin Knight and the Don Callis family. So this episode was not for me. I thought the world title match was great. I thought the match between Mark Davis and Will Ospreay, what we got to see from work from them, was very, very good. I also thought Mercedes looked great in her return. So it's never an in-ring issue. Are you guys as down on this as I am, or did you like this episode better than I did? Because I know Ryan grades on a fun curve, quite frankly. So,
well, Joe, I don't know if you even saw it. You know, you were, and I'm not blaming you.
I have more both screens at one time.
I respect it.
Yeah, it was. I think I can quote Russ. I said, "It's fine. It's fine."
Sure.
So was that like a 2 on the fun scale?
Sure. Average. Half their wrestling. A lot of
was that a 1?
Nope.
You weren't quite at this garbage is not for me. I think it's still for you.
No, the Kevin Knight thing is that, but everything, like, AEW having bad shows is usually saved by the fact that there's usually some really great wrestling on it. So, like, it's never gonna... it's very rare that I get a full episode of This Garbage Is Not For Me. I get segments of This Garbage Is Not For Me.
It's about 3. I think the matches were good. I wasn't as anti the insanity at the end as you were.
You don't hate overbooking like I hate overbooking, though.
No, I don't. I mean, if it was every week, it would annoy me. But this has like...
Sure. I don't like it because it was near a tournament, too. Like, I don't like that stuff near tournament matches. I
mean, I have a feeling tonight's just going to be a night that we skip around a lot because I don't care. Kevin Knight in the Don Callis family is something that annoys me. Sure. I'm hoping it's a temporary thing. They had laid the foundation for Swerve and Kevin Knight.
Yeah. Which
would make a lot more sense because Swerve doesn't have anyone else, and therefore Kevin Knight just doesn't fall to the background. He's still in the whatever. You just can't have him be in the Don Callis family. I'm sorry. You just started getting people out of there, which was necessary, and you're going to throw someone else back in? Like, what are we doing?
Kevin Abreu in the chat saying WWE paid Kate to say bad things about AEW tonight. I wish. I wish they did. I would love if they gave me like a main roster minimum paycheck to say bad things about AEW, not at Fightful. I'd please all day. I'd be having my own show.
The overbooking at the end, I can deal with overbooking if it's a shorter match, but when you give Ospreay and Davis the match they had, where it was just a hell of a match for them, I felt like it just cheapened it for me. Like you gave this match, and you didn't have to overbook it so much, or you could have made it a lot shorter and overbooked the hell out of it instead.
I agree with that. I think part of the reason why I was frustrated is because those two are awesome together. Like, I'm really liking this Mark Davis run, and Will Ospreay's incredible. So the fact that you mucked it all up is frustrating. But let's go through this a little more properly. Let's take it back to the top with Matador MJF. He gets the best of Roosh here, which is not a surprise, but a hell of a match. We opened this episode hot with Roosh kind of coming in with this intense backstage promo about fighting for his family. No pun at like Saraya Page's family there, but MJF interrupts him and slaps him, which I thought, considering how thrown together this match was, they did a good job of throwing some intensity on there. Not that Roosh needs it, but Andrade later fires Roosh up, tells him to win it for everyone who believed he could become a world champion. This match was exactly what you would expect from Roosh and MJF. It got violent, and Roosh mauled MJF on the ringside a lot in this, choking him with the cable, throwing him into barricades, ripping off turnbuckle pads. There were some nasty spots on the outside. We had exposed steel. We had eye gouges. There are times when MJF really digs in. The first match with Roosh was one of them. This was one of them. The match with Roddy Strong was one of them, where he comes to, like, he puts his working boots on because he knows he's going to be fighting a badass. And we got that tonight, but the biggest spots here include Roosh pile driving MJF on the apron. But we do, of course, have MJF escaping a low blow and fleeing the conglomeration when they arrive after the match as well, because MJF hits Roosh with the title. After Roosh passes out in the crossface. This was a hell of a way to open the show. I kind of feel like my excitement went down after this because I thought this was fun. I loved Matador MJF. I also love MJF. When he gets cheered, he has Justin Roberts do things that immediately get him booed and put him on the correct side of things. It's a very, very wise thing to do. Joe, we'll start with you. Because the Knicks are up 92-86, I'm seeing. So we'll catch you on this little upswing of offense here. What do you think?
Fun match. I haven't seen an El Matador look that good since Tio Santana, so that was nice.
Very nice.
I was wondering why they added that stipulation of no count out, but the match, and how it started, it made complete sense, and it was able to kind of kick the match up a notch in intensity. So that was enjoyable to watch. MJF's powerbomb backbreaker that he does, I really like that move that he brings out. I guess the only thing was it had the finish where I'm not a fan of the pass out from armbar. And then
that's fair. Yeah, that's not always.
But I would rather have, I don't know, maybe just, drop the arm for 3 or something instead of, he passed out, so we're going to call it right away.
I agree with that. Like, I don't buy that you're in so much pain from an armbar that you pass out before you tap out. I do like MJF having to work to get this win in that way. Like, I think there's a better ending for it. But I like that he didn't just win with, like, Heat Seeker and go home. Like, I like that there was some desperation in it. Ryan, what did you think of this opening match?
The match was, there's nothing bad to say about the match. It was a lot of fun. They both came in costume, which I appreciate. They both. Because Roosh recently hasn't always been bringing out his mask. It's been a little more hit and miss with him. So he came fully geared up tonight, which I did like. I don't want MJF to get into the Darby Allin regular challengers thing. That's not an MJF way of life. You know,
Sure.
that's he's not the guy who's going to, like, what his reaction to Mark Briscoe was more MJF. I'm not going to wrestle you. I'm not going to fight you. So I don't want to see him, but for a one-off, wow, Jesse just making sure the shots are taken at me.
Jesse saying, wow, Kate said desperation and immediately cut to Ryan. That was brutal, Kate. That was a description of the match. I can't help if it's applicable to other things. Okay.
I don't love the post-match stuff because I think it makes Mark Briscoe look stupid. You know, he runs out to save Roosh. MJF has just had a brutal match with Roosh, and MJF is the one standing because of a low blow. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not, like, I think it made Mark Briscoe look weak. I think he did not come out of that looking, if you're trying to paint him as the next contender for MJF, I don't think this is the way you go about it. Having MJF duck him helps, but getting a one low blow that knocks you down, it's just like, what? Like,
yeah, I think, like, if you look at the who got the better of it, they want you to think MJF running away like a coward is the conglomeration of Briscoe. But yeah, that's my thing. And also, like, this gets enough oxygen later in the show. We can just talk about it now. But we have Mark Briscoe defeating Lio Rush. I am so charmed by the conglomeration just being freaked out by Lio Rush. Not scared of him, but freaked out. Like, they just don't know what to do with this guy. Is very, very charming. But Mark Briscoe winning with the cutthroat driver. This was a little bit lighter than our opener. This is kind of what I think, like, this is all about Lio Rush and this weird character, right? Like, he can still wrestle really well with it, which is what blows my mind, but you get some redneck kung fu energy in this. You get some suplexes. You get your avalanche falcon arrow. I liked the near fall where Lio almost steals it with the jackknife pin and that roundhouse stunner sequence. I thought that was very good. Everybody but me loved the promo after. I feel like my whole timeline was lit up with this, but I just didn't. I felt like it was a little all over the place and a lot of stuff I'd already heard before. That's not meant to be disrespectful to Jay Briscoe. They're in Virginia. Of course, they're going to reference this. I just felt like it feels like we're replaying Mark Briscoe and MJF rather than evolving Mark Briscoe and MJF so far, and I don't need to see another ultra-violent match with Mark Briscoe where he loses to the world champion but puts up a hell of a fight, and my God, the blood. Like, I just don't need to see that again. The first ones, I felt very Flair and Dusty. Like, I really, really felt like they were going so far out of their way to make Mark Briscoe feel like the everyman, but my timeline was lit up with people loving this promo, and I just didn't. So clearly it resonated with everybody but me. But I thought, like, they gave a lot of oxygen to this through line tonight, and I don't know if they needed to, but they chose to do it, and it just felt kind of like static. Like, it just felt kind of there to me, I guess. Especially because the inevitability that Mark Briscoe would win. Ryan, we'll start with you this time. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not digging the Mark Briscoe story. I just told you, I think he looked stupid at the end of the match. I think, listen, the Lio Rush stuff Lio Rush is a lot of fun right now. I think Tony just said, sure, go do what you want and see what can be built of this. And he actually is building something. Like, clearly It's getting more and more over. I like that even Ishii stopped when Rush was.
That was cute, yeah.
I like that he's wearing the crew trunks, and they pointed it out on commentary. Be like, what is wrong with him? Like, where is his brain at? So I actually came out of the match more thinking about Lio Rush. Problem with Mark Briscoe is that he's not going to win. Everyone knows he's not going to win. They've done nothing to make you think he should win.
Sure.
Like if he were going for another belt, like Continental,
one of their 785
one of their
belts,
3 or 4 other singles belts, he would legitimately have a shot because he's in that range of titles. He's not winning the world heavyweight, so why are we putting him back in that? Like, that's not.
Well, he has beat MJF before, which I think was the important part of this promo. So there is still a score to settle there, but it's just so glaringly obvious. And I don't feel like I felt like there was a lot of dots that didn't get connected in this Mark Briscoe promo of him saying, like, I lost my brother, and then I debuted in AEW, and it was my therapy, but I wasn't happy until I found my new brothers in the conglomeration, but I still hate your stinking guts, is like, it's the framework of something that could be the next chapter in the story, but it doesn't feel like the next chapter in the story
Dear
yet.
Delilah, I hate your guts.
I hate your stinking
You are
guts.
the scum between my toes.
Joe, are you a Mark Briscoe hater like me and Ryan, or did you enjoy this?
I'm not a hater. I definitely see the
You just
points.
crush a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't. I'm with you on the not involving part of his character. I'm always a fan of Briscoe when he does his serious promos. I get a little tired of his conglomerate style promos. It's a little overstimulating for me. It's a little much, and kind of takes away from, I don't know, what I think he could evolve into and be more serious and not just, funny, goofy. I'm supposed to take you serious, but I can't because you're redneck kung fu. So yeah, I like the impassioned promo. Just I'm with you both on the kind of still. As for Leo, I'm interested to see what he does, and he keeps, like, to Ryan's point, they keep inserting him into random spots on the show, and he's having interactions with, whether it's the CMC or Anarchy Arena match, whatever that's called, or popping up in the conglomeration. I think to find a home with some group or somebody.
Sure.
And I'm not quite sure who that is. It would be kind of fun if it was a conglomeration. They have a lot of people as it is.
There are a lot of stables with a lot of people in them. Like, it is a lot. The conglomeration has always been this, though, of, like, these people that come and go and, like, people that pop in and out. With Leo Rush, I feel like they almost kind of have to ride the wave because he's getting face reactions with this very weird character. But he's positioned kind of like a heel. So I think they have to see where that goes. I just want to mention this before we move on, just because I don't want to forget it, because it's very important. But the Young Bucks did a stream earlier today that raised $3,000 for ALS on their live stream, and they're donating it to I Am ALS, which Rebel, as we affectionately know her, is now an advocate for in light of her ALS diagnosis. It's a wonderful organization. A tremendous amount of the proceeds that you donate do actually go toward the cause. That's kind of like an important hallmark of a nonprofit. But they had their stream earlier. I think you can still make donations through it. But they did that today, like not too long before Dynamite. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that, because we kind of zipped through quickly some news and notes to get to this. And that's a really important aspect of things. So in the spirit of that, I just wanted to make sure that we talked about the thing that's bigger than wrestling that happened tonight. Because tell you what, none of these stories fucking matter more than that. So there you go. And since we're touching on the Young Bucks anyway, it looks like we're getting the Bucks versus the Dogs. And if you were wondering what the Dog doing, it looks like the Dogs are going to be fighting the Young Bucks for animal supremacy and for a #1 contendership. I am very excited to see that, because I think it means that we got the 5-second pose thing. We got them attacking the World Tag Champions. They're fighting the Young Bucks, who, whenever they're not champions, are in the position to elevate other people to get those contendership shots. So it feels like the Dogs finally have something to do, which is great. And it also feels like Cope and Christian are going to be used to elevate other teams in the division, which I think we've all been asking for. Joe, I'll throw it over to you as this game is getting a little dicier, a little closer. Your thoughts on this?
I think it's pretty fun with the Japan ties and backgrounds between these two groups, and I'm interested to see what they can do. I feel like they're so up and down, and a lot of times they seem down more than up.
Sure.
I think they can use the win over the Bucks, but
I agree.
Don't know. I'm not sure where the Bucks are going after this, though. I feel like we thought they were going to go have a match with, Kofi and Christian or someone else down the line, but I guess we'll probably wait until maybe All In.
I mean, I think they had a really clear vision, and then all of a sudden, like, the New Day and Motor City Machine Guns became available. So I think maybe everything looks different now. They, from all I know, which is not a lot, but from the little I do know, the Young Bucks are very willing to give up whatever spot they would need to be in. I think everybody wants to see the New Day and the Young Bucks face off, so I don't think they would be out of that 4-pack. But they're very willing to, we'll just go do something else. We'll be in a trio instead. We'll do whatever. So, but I think there was a very vivid thing we were building toward, and it was very obvious, and now I think they're like, well, maybe we'll do the biggest tag match we could possibly do at Wembley. But I think the Dogs probably get the win here, and I think that'll be a really good use of this Cope and Christian title reign to start, and I think a good use of the Bucks, because stylistically, too, I just want to see that match. Loved the line about him calling David Finlay the worst Bullet Club leader ever. That was a cute jab. Ryan, your thoughts on this little segment?
Listen, you knew I had to like this as soon as they came out with, who let the Dogs out? Who?
Of course, yeah. Ryan coded.
Yeah,
sure.
And then, what that dog doing? I appreciate that. I do. I kind of get what you guys are saying, where I think maybe now with the New Day and Machine Guns, they've changed plans. But it might actually, seeing the way they're going with it, might work out for the better, in the sense that you can't just rely on the teams coming in. Like, you have a team like the Dogs, you have to do something with them. And obviously they had plans for the trios that kind of went to the wayside with the injury. But you can throw them in this while you have the Bucks just wait a little bit for the match that everybody wants from them, and they be fine. The Dogs don't have to beat the Edge and Cope to get for this to be important for them. This could be a huge step even in a loss, because it already has been. They're getting more time. They're being given personality. They're really showing who they are. So even if they lose in like a last second fashion or something like that, it's not as big of a deal, especially if they beat the Bucks on their way there, because they'll have had big wins to get there. So I think I'm all for it. The Dogs are extremely talented. They're a lot of fun to watch. I was really excited for them as a trios, and I get what happened, so that sucks. I thought they were going to revitalize the trios division in a really fun way, but until then, there's no reason to not, let them beat the Bucks and then let them lose to Cope and Christian, and honestly, they'll be in a way better position.
I agree with that. I think it's important for them to get some big wins, and they're not going to get a big win against Christian and Cope, so let them get wins over guys like the Young Bucks is a very, very clutch thing, like a corner 3 late in the fourth corner. It's so clutch. That's what that was. But let's talk about the big news of the day. Let's talk about Mercedes Moné's return in a really good match against Alex Windsor. I felt like she looked great. Didn't miss a step. This is the first time she's wrestled on AEW television all year. And I knew she'd been away for a bit, but I was like, we're halfway through the year now. We're into June. So that was a healthy respite. Obviously, she was losing her other titles on the Indies, which commentary did reference. And I'm sure we'll hear more of that story. But the Owen belt is crucially the only one she has left. So her clinging to this to get to the big one is something that could be a very fun story here. She's revealed as the wild card. Her gear is awesome. She has a remix of her theme. She just feels like a star. Like, I feel like when she first arrived, there was a moment for a few months where she felt a little disjointed from the rest of the roster, and now I feel like the rest of the roster is kind of like almost rising up to the occasion of her feeling
Up to the challenge of our rivals.
basically like I genuinely like when she came in with this character of putting the division on notice, like sometimes someone comes in with star power and it's like the rest of the women's division wasn't there yet, and now it feels like it's so much more developed. But I thought this match was really good. She had those nasty Meteora variations I think are so effective against someone like Alex Windsor. She sells like a beast, so those lariats and the cannonball from the apron I thought were great. The pumping bomber counter was really, really good, but we get a backstabber into the statement maker, which forces Alex Windsor to tap. This I thought was a really good comeback, and what's kind of funny is like she was taking place for an injured Willow here, but all the matchups on the other side with like Saray and Hazuki and stuff are all people like she's either fought in Japan or are considered dream matches and whatever. So it kind of works out super, super well. Ryan, we're going to start with you for obvious reasons.
I mean, Joe should be super happy. This game's over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Shut your mouth. It's over yet.
It's over.
It's not over until the buzzer buzzes.
I've watched enough basketball. This game's over.
Listen, I'm with Joe on this one. It's not over until you hear the buzzer. It is, I've seen too much weird shit happen.
I have not in basketball. This is over. Listen, Mercedes is awesome. I don't think that's ever been debated. She's clearly got the talent, that leads. There's a reason they wanted her so badly. There's a reason people talk about her when she's not around. She is that gal. But honestly, I don't even want to talk about the match. What I want to talk about is her gear. More specifically, was there not a lot of like dangly chains and stuff on it?
Let me see. Let me pull up a picture of it.
If I could be wrong, but it just felt like not in a bad way or anything. It was unusual. Usually wrestlers, you limit that stuff, and it just felt like there was.
Let me see. Kind of around the neck, but not really dangling. They're pretty like flat in there. It's very I came back as a heel gear. I'll say that much. It feels very much like you're not going to have empathy for me losing all these titles. I am still a bad
She's very
gal.
good at that.
Yeah.
That even in her return, you're not worried that she's like, what is she going to be? She's a heel. Like she
knows how to make that work in the ring. Like the reaction was going to be what it was going to be. Like she's going to ride that out, but she's replacing Willow here, right? So it's like, she's taking the spot of the woman that put her out. Like that feels very, very heelish anyway.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I think people want to see her face off against are all heels as well. So like I'm your face, Athena. I want to see her face Tekla. I want the top people in the division are heels. It seems like.
I think the tournament is a good excuse, like to Athena's a heel, but like you could do that, right? And they obviously have the history, so. Tekla would be. She's so damn charismatic that I think you could just make it work with these two characters. So I agree with you that like the alignments don't work, but I also think like Tekla is just her own little buzzsaw in the world. So I feel like that kind of works. It is tough with Tony and Willow out. Those are two of your top faces. Chris is tied up with Sheeta. So it is a little trickier. It is definitely a little trickier. My goodness. Is it official? 20 seconds on the clock still? Okay.
It's over. It's been over.
You can't.
Joe, I know we're a wrestling podcast and all that, but I gotta ask. They win game 1 in San Antonio. What are you predicting for the series?
I still have horrible memories of Reggie Miller.
It's supposed to be a Spurs runaway, right? Like, I don't follow basketball, so I need you to be honest.
No.
Okay.
The Knicks won the series between them in the regular season. They beat them for the stupid NBA Cup in the middle of the season.
Okay.
I mean, I would predict a 6-game series regardless of who wins.
Okay. Fair.
It has been predicted the Spurs because Wembanyama is insane. Now, I don't think he looked that way tonight, personally. He got 26 points, but I still don't think he looked like the guy who's supposed to just
annihilate
everyone. He has been talking about in recent. What?
We can have Wemby. We have Danhausen. All we need.
It's true. Danhausen is the ingredient here. You're not wrong.
But Wemby's been talked about in recent weeks, months, even the whole last year, as possibly being the next greatest of all time, the next one after. And I don't think he showed up much tonight. Now, there is a flip side to Brunson did. Brunson's unbelievable. But I think there's a flip side to that Wemby's very emotional, very passionate, does this light a fire in him that you don't want. But I mean, stealing one in San Antonio is huge. The one, you can't count out the Knicks. They've blown out every team they've played in the playoffs, so it's hard to be like they're.
Sure. I think everybody that's educated on me are very cautious Knicks fans, so I think they are all just predicting the worst so they can be delightfully surprised.
I hate the Knicks, and I'm a Philly fan, so I would expect the Knicks to win just to spite me.
Okay, fair.
I still, even losing game one, think it's a toss-up of a series for the Spurs losing game one.
I want to hear how Kate segues into the next wrestling topic from this.
Me too.
How do I segue into the next wrestling topic from this? I mean, there's a whole, just like a list of possibilities of ways I could go with that, but I feel like Tommaso Ciampa is the one calling out lists. You know what I'm saying with this? Like, I just feel like we get this recap showing Jericho beating Ricochet before Ciampa attacked him last week. Ciampa doing this fantastic promo on Collision, mimicking the list, but doing all the reasons that Jericho sucks on that list, including calling out his stupid cruise, which I gotta say, the cruise is a fun time. I've been on it several times. I don't know how I feel about this feud, but I love the work that's happening week over week with it, so I'm willing to give it leeway. I just don't want it to last too long. I felt like all of Ciampa's losses were leading to something. I didn't think it was back to Chris Jericho, but historically, Jericho has been the guy that's adjacent to the title that you go after. So I don't hate it. They've obviously crossed paths a bunch before. I don't know if they've ever wrestled, considering the timing of their careers. So that part's interesting, but the work Ciampa's doing very much amuses me, and this is not my least favorite version of Jericho, which doesn't say much. I was very fatigued on him at the end of his last run. But Joe, how are you feeling about this Ciampa-Jericho feud that we have stirring?
I like the fact they're letting Ciampa have a personality.
Yes, I agree.
In WWE, he's very much like a one-dimensional character. It felt like a lot of times, letting him have a little humor, letting him show different sides of his character, having more mic time. I think it's going to really help him, and him going over on Jericho will just make him, even more credible as a single person in AEW, and someone they can go back to when they kind of cycle through who they need to be in events and things like that.
I mean, he did kiss MJF a couple times, so we'll see if he beats Jericho to launch himself into a title shot against Max. But Ryan, you're a big Jericho guy. You're a list guy. How do you feel about Ciampa taking a swing at your boy here?
I like Jericho. I do. I can't lie. But like Joe said, I think this is a good thing for Ciampa. He needs to win this. I love Jericho, but Jericho can't come out on top of this. This has to be a Ciampa win to get some momentum going. The list thing was hilarious to me.
Yeah, I had fun with that too.
your arm bars and stuff like that. Just really funny to me. So yeah, no, I think I'm a big fan of the decision to go right from Ricochet to Ciampa, not have not have that Ricochet feud last any longer, but Ciampa has to come out. I don't want to see him lose this one.
I agree. We'll go through these quickly and back to back because they're both very quick. Tekla declares death to Stardom as she spits on the logo. She talks about getting fired from Japan and says she's going after it again, which makes me feel like we're doing nothing with her between now and Forbidden Door at all. And we get Andrade defeating EK Vanity in 35 seconds. He still got a selfie with Emily J, who's a fightful friend for sure. So, Joe, both of these took up maybe about a minute of screen time at most here. Your thoughts on this Tekla promo and this very quick Andrade match?
I like that they're having fun with the whole, leading into the Tekla and her relationship with Japan. I'm glad they're kind of finding a way to use that here in the storyline. The Andrade squash, make him look strong. Get him out of the Don Callis family now that they've added Kevin Knight, apparently. Let him be the next guy who's just out of there like Takeshita. Yeah, I don't know where Andrade goes. I mean, yeah, he wants a title shot, but who doesn't? I think Ryan wants a title shot. I think Kenny wants a title shot.
We get MJF saying that, like, everybody wants this. It's the most prized possession in sports. He's icing himself in a bath after after getting his ass kicked by Rush. Kind of feels like the Rush match was a bridge to get to MJF and Andrade, Ryan. I feel like that's maybe the connective tissue that we were looking for there. But we do have this Andrade squash and this Tekla promo. What says you, Ryan?
I mean, yeah, the Andrade squash was a squash on the squash. They do need to get him. He's kind of always felt like on the outside of the Callis family, like he wasn't really fully part of it. So that being said, they need to just get him away from it. I don't care about that. Like, I don't want to feud after. I don't want anything. Just he walks away into the sunset of the Callis family into other stuff.
Let's talk about the Callis family because they added a member tonight, and I think it's fucking stupid. Kevin Knight defeats Speedball Mike Bailey today in a rivalry that was plenty personal on its own. It did not need the help or interference of anybody else involved. And Kevin Knight is a very, very over megastar on his own, as witnessed by our friend Greg. This seems entirely unnecessary. The match is good. We have Knight retaining after Callis trips Bailey, leading to Kevin Knight hitting that top rope spine buster that always looks so great. He takes out the world champion on his own. He has his own belt on his own. This feels so unnecessary. It feels like a personality misalignment. And when you've already teased Swerve and Kevin Knight, doing this is like unfathomable to me. I hate this. If this was one of those things that I normally complain about in wrestling where they just abandon it and don't acknowledge it next week, I would be overjoyed. I think this is the dumbest shit in the world. This is zero funds. This trash is not for me. I feel like this absolutely makes no sense. I feel like it's a step back for Kevin Knight. I feel like there's so many more interesting things you could do with him than this. And I feel like this is the laziest crush. I think it's a bad idea for the Callis family. I feel like they need to deal with the dissension that they have already instead of adding more components. I think this sucks from both sides of it. Ryan, I'll throw to you. We'll let Joe bask in his Knicks victory a little bit longer before we talk about some stuff that was not as great on the show tonight. What did you think here?
No, we talked about a little earlier. It's stupid. He doesn't belong in the Callis family. If he's not going to be out on his own, which I can understand, as a heel, sometimes it's easier to put him with someone. I think Swerve's group would have been perfect because there's only Swerve and Nana. So one, realistically, they don't have to be around each other a lot. So there's no stealing of the spotlights. Two, in the Callis family, whether he has a championship or not, he's going to fade to the background. It's happening to everyone who gets put in there. I mean, even Kyle Fletcher at times was kind of shifted to the side and had to put himself back in the face. Like it's
also like they finally are just breaking up the pieces that needed to break up for so long, and now they're adding someone. That's shitty and messy. Like that's just bad. Like the focus of the Don Callis family can't even be the focus of the Don Callis family.
Yeah,
I don't like
they need to. I like that. I don't mind the group if they can clear out a couple members, like Takeshita getting out there. I'd get Andrade gone. I would get Kevin Knight out as soon as possible. Then you have realistically two main guys with a lot of other.
Yeah,
I think that works better.
and like. I think there's probably a compelling story of them trying to adopt Kevin Knight because he has gold and not being able to. But that puts him back on the face side. So I feel like they should have just avoided this altogether. Just like the Spurs should have tried to avoid Jalen Brunson tonight. But they couldn't, even with a bad ankle. Joe, the Knicks win. This angle, not so winning in my book. What do you think?
Like Brunson, the Don Callis family is kind of inevitable right now. They kind of get what they want, and it's making sense to me. I'm with you both. It was a weird fit when I heard that, like he was a part of the family. It's my point of view because he won the championship he's holding without them. So he didn't necessarily need a group behind him. I think if you want to showcase him as a star, you let him stand on his own and let him just be a heel, kind of like Ricochet was a heel for a while on his own before he added, the Gates of Agony. I don't. It doesn't to me the right point. I think the Don Callis family would be better with one top guy and then some supporting roles instead of having three guys who are all on the same level right now, or maybe four guys on that same level.
Joe is saying one top and a lot of bottoms. That's what I heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know where he put Dunzilla. I feel like he's a top guy, but he's had a lot of bottom power.
A lot of bottom power on the old Mark Davis. We're going to talk about him right now because this is our main event. This is Will Ospreay and Mark Davis, and it was overbooked to hell, and I don't like that. In my Owen tournaments, I feel like they made it work for Double or Nothing with the tag title picture, and they were like, we can go to that well again. Not around my Owen, baby. I don't think so, but Ospreay wins by submission with the death ground here. This is Ospreay targeting Davis's arm early, Davis using his size and power to brutalize Ospreay. You got slams, you got chops, you got superplexes. You get that nasty clutch release suplex onto the announce table. And then things escalate. You get a Robinson special in this. My notes were like, a Robinson special? There's multiple hidden blade attempts, but Davis just keeps surviving. And then everything explodes into chaos. You get Trent Beretta and El Clone interfering. The Death Riders arriving, Lance Archer, Claudio, the bullet point list of how many names fucking come down. Lance Archer, Claudio, Brian Cage, Pac, Jake Doyle, Marina Shafir, John Moxley, Kyle Fletcher, and Takeshita all get involved. And a brawl with the Don Callis family versus the Death Riders and the anti-Don Callis family angle here. Fletcher tries to attack Ospreay with a screwdriver, but Takeshita stops him, so that is still brewing. Davis gets a hold of the screwdriver, but Ospreay disarms him. Another hidden blade. Mark Davis survives the final burst there, but finally we get the death ground for the tap. If this wasn't a tournament match, I would have so many fewer complaints. Like, I just hate that this is allowed in a tournament aspect. I think that's just a shitty way to go about business. Like, tournaments, by definition, are supposed to be, like, one-on-one competitive matches. So I hated that aspect of it. The one thing I can say for it is logical. Everybody has issues with each other that line up on the correct sides of things. I think it's a good storytelling beat to keep the Death Riders on Will Ospreay's side and in his corner. Like, I think all of that kind of stuff makes sense. I do thank you, 1LT Photo. I like my rules. I'm a square when it comes to wrestling. I like my rules.
Know your rules. You better know your rules.
If you don't, you'll get eaten in your sleep. As the great Dwight Schrute told us on The Office. But yeah, if this wasn't a tournament match, I would be more like, but today I was just like, turn it off. Because I also don't feel like Will Ospreay really got his win back on Mark Davis then. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't earn that. I don't know. Either one of you two take it. Joe, we'll go to you.
I liked the match up until that point.
Sure.
I'm glad that all those neck bridges by Will paid off and it helped get neck strong toward the end. Trying to think what other some other notes I have here. Will has, I feel like watching Will since his Death Riders involvement has been like a video game where you enter a code to unlock special skills. And I think that's what it looks like. I'm watching Will now, like, oh, I have this extra, random moveset pack that now he unleashes. And so it's been kind of fun to see things up a little bit in his skill set.
Yeah, that's been my favorite part of this story, is that Will expanded his arsenal, so to speak. Ryan, what did you think of our main event?
The match itself was great. Mark Davis has just been a shock.
Yeah, he's been
someone
great.
who has been primarily known as a tag team guy. When Doyle got hurt, the run he's gone on has been just awesome. I want to know what's going on with his eye. Why does he keep wearing a patch? What's going on, guys?
Sure.
Is he a pirate now? If that's okay if he is. I just need to know. I know you don't like the shenanigans. I liked the shenanigans because you know what it reminded me of?
Like
Earl. What was that?
Did you like evil shenanigans, or are they? What kind of shenanigans are we talking about?
I like all types of shenanigans, but this reminded me of very early AEW when all we had was gang wars.
See, that's like my least. There was like 6 weeks where that was true, and I hated that.
I mean, we don't get this level a lot. If this keeps happening, I will say no. This has to stop. But the one thing I want to point out: have they put Ospreay in the Death Riders with the idea that maybe that might, I don't know if the idea was it would heal him up or what the story they were trying to tell is, but they very clearly have turned the Death Riders face by putting Ospreay in there.
It feels to me, I read it as tweener because it's still true to the mission of the Death Riders, which is what we wanted from the beginning, but it is still self-serving in that like they are helping him because they want him as a part of this group, which is logical and makes sense. But they get something out of it too. And there's dissension on the inside, right? Like we've seen Pac not be a fan of some of this stuff. We see Garcia talking some shit earlier tonight, which I thought was very fun. So I feel like they're not good guys. They're just being good to this guy. And Ospreay's the one leading the charge here, so they end up on the good guy side of things. So, and the Don Callis family is the most hated stable in probably all of wrestling. So, I think I kind of like that. Like, that's one thing I always loved with Eddie Kingston was he was just like, I hate everybody but Mox. I want to fight everybody but Mox, whether he was a heel or a face. Like, he has his one best friend and everybody else is on notice. So, I personally like those philosophies. Like, as long as you stick to your own moral code, whoever falls on whatever side is fine by me. But yeah, I feel like there's an order to things when it comes to tournaments, and this did not follow.
This isn't the Continental Classic.
rules.
There's no rules about having no one at ringside.
It's a tournament. The spirit of the tournament is lost.
You are literally the only person who has decided that a tournament should mean no shenanigans.
I feel like
Every singles match ever has had the assumption that it's supposed to be a one-on-one match with no shenanigans.
Yeah, but a tournament, like the spirit of a tournament, is about besting the other side.
There is a reason in the Continental Classic they had to go out of their way to say no one at ringside, because in other tournaments it happens all the time.
Which is bullshit. It shouldn't.
That is you were putting your own expectations that don't exist.
My expectations are right.
No.
Yes.
So you get mad every time a singles match has shenanigans?
No, because it's the.
But the expectation is it's one-on-one.
Don't ask me a question and then cut me off.
No,
the
that's
spirit
exactly
of a
why I did that.
tournament is.
Listen, Kate, you have to listen.
Oh, I'm not logged in. I was gonna pull you off screen. God damn it. You know what? Fine. Run amok, Ryan. Run amok with your 70. I can unmute.
There you go.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm logged in and I can put myself back on.
Get this Philly trash off of this New York stream.
Oh my God, Tim McFall's agreeing with me.
Tim McFall, you unsubscribe right now? War Hero is a fucking war hero and agrees with me. So unless you hate war heroes. Me Norma says there should be. See? Me Norma thinks I look cute in the sundress that I had on my reels today. So that means I win.
That's only because I haven't shown you in my sundress.
Ryan is in Don Callis' pocket. That's what's going on here.
I really wish I was.
Ryan is in the Don Callis family.
I wish I was. I would take the pay.
Probably. We went to Dynamite last week. He was like, there's a guy in the building. He can join our stable. That's fine.
I want the money. I'm not even ashamed of that.
Joe, you're the tiebreaker. Tell Ryan he's wrong.
I am going to say a very non-committed time and place for it. This match wasn't the place for it.
I don't care. You didn't flat out say Kate was right. That's a victory for me.
He's being magnanimous. Speaking of victories, how about those Knicks, huh?
Yeah. Lemon 76ers.
Yeah. Trust the process, my ass.
You realize you can't anger me over sports. People have tried for a long time. It doesn't work.
I'm going to wear you down. No, you want to know how to get under Ryan's skin? Don't make parking garage reservations.
Fucking drives me nuts.
There you go. I learned that.
We'll play it by ear. All around the place that no one, cities who I have to drive, I'm the one driving. We'll just play it by ear.
And it worked out just fine.
Kate admits she only likes order within her wrestling, not in her outside world.
Yeah, there's a way that the world is supposed to work. There's a spirit of a tournament that is about one person besting another person and working their way through a bunch of people to earn something.
That being said,
Big G says I'm 100% right, and they're big and a G.
Every singles match has the expectation of one-on-one that doesn't happen. Why is a tournament different?
Because of the nature of what a tournament is.
What is the nature of a tournament?
A tournament is 100%, like, it is purely for the spirit of competition, whereas in this world of wrestling, people are fighting with each other over moral reasons, over personal reasons, over ethical reasons. This is the purity of the sport. Like, and the thing that you're trying to earn is I'm testing myself in this field of competitors.
This match,
whereas opposed to like, this person hates my friend, I'm going to fight them. Like, that shouldn't bleed into this.
Why? It bleeds into sports.
Not like, when have there just been 12 guys that came onto the field and everything continued as you know? Like,
I mean, there was someone on the court tonight at the Spurs next game, so
this is just Philly trash. It's what this is. It's a Philly trash take. And
considering I live in Jersey like you do, I don't know if you want to go talking about trash.
Technically, you live in Jersey too, so that's not the sick burn that you think it is. But Joe,
I don't know.
Restore some
I don't know,
order
you said
and
it.
some class back to this, please. Let people know where they can find us, because we have to get out of here before Ryan tries to ruin everything with his chaos.
Ruin.
You can follow me on social media at _Asian Joe. And if you follow me right now, you'll probably just find some random Nick stuff. Like
Hell yeah.
Ryan, what about you? What's going on here, Ryan?
You can follow me on all our socials at Mark Order Pod. Then you could go watch my YouTube at Here for History. New stuff will be coming soon. I'm trying to get a bunch of videos done so that I don't have to take a break for a while or ever again. You know, I'm trying to get a list of them. So that's taking time because real world stuff got in the way. And then I guess we should see where Kate is, even though everyone knows where Kate is.
I am wearing cute little dresses on Instagram. Ricky Lynn, I'm right. I will win you over. You can follow me at Miss Kayfabe. You can follow me on Fightful. You can follow me here at the Mark Order podcast. You can follow me following the Knicks, because my loyalty is a third of a month old at this point. So go Knicks. Go. I don't know if you know this, Joe, but the Knicks it's actually short for the Nicholases.
Oh,
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people think it's Knickerbockers. It's not. It's the Nicholases.
yeah, the first mascot was a little boy named Nicholas, the son of the owner.
It might
And-
even it might be the Nikolai.
Oh, well,
I don't know what the plural is. Oh man, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to this channel if you like AEW talk, and if you want to see more of Ryan's wrong takes. And feel free to leave a 5-star review in audio form before we get out of here. But as is custom, Ryan, please narrate our outro.
So I gotta say first, Kate was wrong. I get the outro thing.
Goodbye and good night.
Oops, I forgot the outro cover. There you go.
You suck at your job.
Kate is the worst.
Best. It is the best.
Kate
Is the
worst.
best. Is the best.
She
Kate
is
is the best. Kate is the best. The best.
Worst.
The best.